Oh, blimey, governor. It's only the BAFTA prediction show. I can do it better than Dick Van Dyke. Then again, I have a 50% chance of doing it better because I'm from the fucking country. Oh, great.
For sake of argument, if you look at the subtitles, I can't understand what you're saying anyway, so you're fine.
Yeah.
And I believe you said fecking, Fecking, so you should be good.
No, fucking. F-A-C-K.
Oh, fack. F-A-C-K. Okay. Wow. I hope you guys are paying attention, because there will be a quiz. Hello, everyone. We got a week till BAFTA. We got a shoot month till the Oscars. I don't even know what to say at this point. All I can say is welcome to another set of award show predictions exclusively here on the Popcast Network. My name is Owen, wearing my MJF shirt because he is the devil himself. And joining us, as always, we have Ashley.
Part of me does want to watch the Super Bowl tonight just because the songs and the pre-game stuff are all being signed in American Sign Language by Troy Kutzer because he's an Arizona native.
That's cool. Nice. And also joining us, we have AJ.
Yeah. Troy's going to have a busy month, that's what I'm saying. He's got to start it off with the Super Bowl.
We have our live chat. Real quick before we get started, Cassie. Hi, Cassie. Josie says, hey, folks, had a rough week this week. I'm glad to be here with you guys. We're glad to have you here, too, Josie. It's not been a good week for me either. But, I'm obviously not going into that. She said she rewatched Buster Keaton's 7 Chances this morning for Valentine's Day. Great revisiting.
Nice.
And showed her friend Strictly Ballroom, and he loved it. I think it's Baz's best film. I'm a little biased, Josie, but I do enjoy Strictly Ballroom. Spencer said, I have now watched Pacific Heights with my girlfriend for the 13th time. Spencer, you're hitting my Moulin Rouge numbers. You need to back off a little bit, sir. But then again, AJ knows this. I watch Moulin Rouge 13 times theatrically.
I was trying to remember.
I spent the whole day watching it.
I was trying to remember which one you saw more between Moulin Rouge and A Walk to Remember.
I think it finished. They both finished out. They were part of the 12 Timers Club for the longest time, and there were not many movies that reached the 12 Timers Club. Cool. Josie said Strictly Ballroom and Silver Linings Playbook would make a great double feature. Not on Tuesday, it wouldn't. Not for me, at least. That would be bad. Real bad. Brian says, I have to watch Die Hard and Die Hard 2 before Vengeance this week. I can't reveal on what films I watched. All I can say is I finished 2011. Nice. Okay. So, I don't care about state of the race at this point. We're knee deep in award season. So at this rate, now we're just headed to the finish line at this point. We have BAFTA.
There is a state of the Popcast. As in, we can announce what time roughly we should be going live.
Yeah. So we are going to be viewing the BAFTAs, as in AJ and I are going to be viewing the BAFTAs in a nice little session with Ashley. So because of that, we're going to be starting the Popcast about 6 o'clock?
If you want
normal time.
If you want to do it. Then. The ceremony itself is on 2 till 4, which I think is being live streamed on BritBox as well.
Okay.
It's not sort of, because it doesn't have a TV station in America, they don't have to sort of do it on tape delay. They've got the services to actually broadcast it live. You see what you missed, Netflix?
So based on what Ashley just said, forget that. Hope you're planning to pack a lunch, literally, because we are going to be going live 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Or about then, because I know my feed will probably have a few minutes delay. And then, of course, if they do the awards are not done, I'm going to have to go quickly on my spreadsheet. What's...
Yes. So yeah, the 4 o'clock time frame is what you're looking at for our BAFTA recap on next Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, tomorrow we'll be doing our second show of the week, which is going to be a guild Popcast. All predictions for all the guilds in one perfect Popcast. Brian says only one more 2010 Oscar film to go from 2012. So, as we always do, we have a competition here between the three of us trying to figure out who is the better predictor. And every year, it's very interesting to see exactly how this contest goes. That being said, we're going into the BAFTAs now, which quite literally has an automatic bias, 100%, but he doesn't always win.
I was going to say, I think for the last 4 years out of maybe the 5, I have lost.
Yep.
I foresee the sort of British skew things, but anything that's just BAFTA skew, because they want to be different to the rest, that's where I screw up.
Right. So, yeah, we've got BAFTAs tonight. We've got the guilds tomorrow. Next week, we've got a BAFTA recap, which will be fun. And Popcast Movie Club Die Hard with a Vengeance. That'll be fun. I believe we have a QA show the day after.
Yeah.
I don't have my schedule in front of me. But yeah, 3 shows next week. So get ready for that. So yeah, we're going to try to attempt to predict the BAFTAs now. And here we go. So timestamp that, Ashley.
Do we mean it this time?
As long as no one says anything between now and then, yes.
Okay, that's close enough to 8 minutes. It's time's done.
So we're going to go. Well, I have the wiki page pulled up, so I don't know what order you guys want to go because AJ went all sorts of weird order last time. So let's go.
I didn't write anything down, so I am also using the Wikipedia page.
Okay.
Cool. All right, so we're on an even keel now. I like that.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing British film really early for some reason, but I figure we'll just go in the order we see here unless the big 8 are out of order, in which case we'll do them in the right order. Oh, no, they're in the right order, okay.
They're in the right order.
Okay, so we're starting with the Rising Star Award, naturally.
Yes.
And this is where I'm not predicting, I'm simply trying to remember what exactly Ashley said in the last video.
I don't recall.
Yeah, so for the Rising Star, we have Naomi Ackie, Sheila Emma Mackey, Daryl McCormick, and Amy Lou Wood. If this wasn't a public thing, I'd say Daryl McCormick pretty easily because he's an actor. But that is not the case. I want to say, if I could totally be remembering wrong, Ashley was leaning towards Amy Lou Wood when we had this conversation.
Personally, but keep in mind, both her and Emma Mackey are prominent sex education Netflix people, which is popular with the young people. I was tossing, and I have personal bias. Don't let that sway you, because I think it's probably between Mackey and
Great.
He will never know what he's going to say. And he gets up, and the next thing you know, the sound is back. See? Sound is back. Maybe.
All right. So based on my vague memory of what Ashley said and what it sounded like he was getting ready to say now, I am going to say Amy Lou Wood. So yeah.
Ashley?
I have the bias of going with Amy Lou Wood because I want her career to do well, and I think this would be good. I think it is probably a toss-up between her and Mackey, though, because of the sex education link. Although maybe Naomi can't be ruled out because like she's got a lot of big blockbuster films coming, and if they want to pursue it by that Lashana Lynch style to some extent, that is an option. McCormack and Atim should be more in this, but personally, I'm going with Amy Lou Wood just because she's Sally Bowles.
So, by all rights, I probably should follow suit, but I'm not going to. This will cost me a point. I know this, but I never get a point for Rising Star because I always go for the one that makes the most sense, not the one that I think that the marks are going to vote for. I'm going to go with Sheila Atem here. You've got Doctor Strange, you've got Pinocchio, and you got the Woman King. And all of them were quite successful. Now, granted, I don't know necessarily how successful they were in the UK, but I feel that it's a possibility. And another one I wanted to throw out, I thought about Emma Mackey too, but I was like, no, I don't know. The whole sex education cancel each other out. You know, it never happens for like this, like less than 1% of the time. But you know, this time I'm going to say that's the case. And yeah, I'm Sheila Atem.
I wasn't going to bring this up, but since it's another public voting thing,
Oh God.
I also took potential, I don't know if you want to call it shallowness into account, but things
Sure.
things that would be based on things other than acting.
Yeah, of course.
And my thought was Amy Lou Wood's really fucking cute. And I was gonna base it on that, but then I thought, well, from my straight perspective, the same could probably be said about Daryl McCormack. So that idea kind of goes out the window.
Depends on who's voting.
Yeah.
It's
Like, Ashley, you made the comment right away saying that it's probably more younger crowd that's going to vote for this. But
I'd have thought so. Then again, that was when it was sort of EE, just as it is now. That EE is a part of officially like rebranded as part of BT over here. It probably got a lot more eyes on it from sort of the mainstream, maybe.
okay,
It used to be very popular when it was Orange because there was like a 2-for-1 film promotion thing. So
right.
if you texted the code, you got 2 cinema tickets for the price of 1. When that died and went with the insurance thing, it sort of like disappeared with it, and it's just stuck around. And it was sort of, it mainly went, I mean, because they post it on social media and whatever, it's obviously the social media kids that are the more connected. That's why I'm trying to think, okay, sex education's probably leading the way, because I don't know how many people were that into Peaky Blinders and everything.
I know more about Peaky Blinders from here in the States more than I do in the UK.
Yeah. And the key thing as well is none of the films were, I mean, Woman King I guess did pretty well, as did Living, and to some extent, because it's still in cinemas, I Want to Dance with Somebody, but
Not here.
Emily and Leo Grande didn't get massive releases.
Sure.
If you want to do it on that front, I mean, there's a chance, you know. I also tried to look into social media followings of the people, and when like 2 of the other contenders that I thought were going to be either have private accounts or basically remove their social media, probably for obvious, you know, mental health reasons and whatever.
Sure.
It's hard to sort of track. Amy hasn't. She's got 2.2 million, so that's partially why I also went for her.
So after, I think real quick, I want to do go with what Josie brought up. We have a flashback to 2003 for the BAFTAs. I'll run through this real quick. Talk to Her won Best Original Screenplay over Y Tu Mama También, Gangs of New York, Magdalene Sisters, and Dirty Pretty Things.
Wow.
Adaptation, one adapted. How appropriate. Beating Catch Me If You Can, The Pianist, About a Boy in the Hours.
Strong list.
Yeah, I would have went with Catch Me If You Can personally, because I love that movie. Cinematography went to Road to Perdition over Gangs, Pianist, Two Towers, and Chicago. Editing went to City of God over Chicago, Gangs, Hours, and Two Towers. Did not mean to make that rhyme. Perdition won production design over Gangs, Two Towers, Chamber of Secrets in Chicago. I think there was like 15 movies that came out that year. That was it. Costumes went to Two Towers over Catch Me If You Can, Frida, Gangs in New York and Chicago. There's Frida won makeup and hair over Chicago, Gangs, Hours, and Two Towers. Chicago won sound for Chamber against Chamber, Towers, Gangs, and Pianist. And Two Towers obviously won VFX over Spider-Man. There's a new one. Chamber, Gang, and Minority Report. Supporting actor went to Walken over Cooper, Molina, Spaniard for the win, Ed Harris, and Paul Newman. And Josie will continue momentarily. Yeah, so interesting way to kick it off with a category that we really don't have any idea about because it's just kind of predicted by just sheer dumb luck and votes from the marks. So it could go anyway. AJ, continue.
I'm guessing this takes us to the shorts, if I remember right.
Category I've got next.
Yeah, well, each of these has one Oscar nominee in them, so is it going to be that easy?
Ooh.
We're going to start with live action.
Yep.
Where we have The Ballad of Olive Morris, Bazigaga, Bus Girl, A Drifting Up, and An Irish Goodbye.
Methinks they spelled Bazinga wrong.
They didn't.
I didn't realize Jessica Henwick was involved in one with Bus Girl.
Yeah. Brief overview. Olive Morris is based on the true story of a Black Panther Party member saving a Nigerian diplomat from being falsely accused of a crime in Brixton in 1969. This is before the Brixton troubles of the 70s and 80s sort of became more prevalent. Bazigaga is what's the word I'm looking for? A pastor and his kid in Rwanda in the 90s, hiding out from the genociders and going in this female shaman's tent called Bazigaga. Busco, I have doubts about because it's a Xiao Mei commercial. It's one of those short films that's basically, paid for by Xiao Mei. She did one last year and whatever. A Drifting Up is a documentary about a guy coming off antidepressants, which apparently takes 6 weeks. For those 6 weeks, he just got a camera and filmed himself dancing wherever he could in London. There's about 100 hours of footage that got trimmed down into 10 minutes. That's the only documentary here of the list of them. And The Irish Goodbye is the two estranged brothers meeting up for a funeral thing, which is the Oscar nominee.
All right. That being said, AJ, you're back.
There could be an example against this, but I feel like for the most part, it's never been a bad idea to just go with the Oscar nominee. So that's what I'm doing.
All right.
With An Irish Goodbye.
Ashley.
Yeah, I'm sticking with that as well. The amount of short film festivals it was submitted to across the UK over the year and winning them compared to some of these others might give it a bit too much of a momentum to sort of really pass up on. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm more heartened by Drifting Up. I guess it's a case of which story would be the most interesting to sort of give an award to. Then of course The Irish Goodbye's got the guy with Down syndrome as well, so everything has a good sort of neat little bow to tie on if they wanted to. But yeah, I'm going with Irish Goodbye.
All right, and I did my predictions yesterday, and kind of put a pin in them, and came back to them today and see if I disagreed with a couple things that I did. This is one of the ones I definitely didn't. I concur with the panel. An Irish Goodbye is my choice.
And animated short.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We have The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse, Middle Watch, and Your Mountain is Waiting. Once again, I feel like it's a pretty good idea to go with the Oscar nominee, so that's what I'm doing. Because not only is it the Oscar nominee, it's the Oscar front runner, perhaps?
It's difficult to say front runner when it comes to short categories, but I think you're right, actually.
I would almost say An Irish Goodbye is the front runner for live action at the Oscars, but I'm wondering about Quaron.
Yeah.
But we'll cross that bridge when we get there, because I still haven't crossed it yet.
I might be sooner than I think, actually. If everything lines up. But we'll see. Because you put a kind of a roadblock in my path with the BAFTAs. Thanks, television. So that may not be a thing this year. I guess we'll see. Ashley, do you agree?
Yeah. I mean, I sort of... The key thing with Boy, Mole, Fox, Horse, that book's only been out for sort of like 4 years. They still haven't put it in paperback because it sells that many copies in hardback every sort of Christmas time as sort of like something to pass on as a really good story. They haven't needed the reason to like... Instead, they've got like enhanced editions which cost even more as a hardback. So
yeah, hardback books are always more when it comes to production.
No, but
so
as
it's like
in
they're gonna make a lot of more money that way.
As in, there's like an even more premium hardback edition, which is more than the original hardback edition to pay for. That's what I'm saying.
Easy. Yeah, there's really no need to elaborate. Yeah, the boy, the mole, the fox, and the horse. Thank God for copy and paste. Real quick before you get started, AJ, best supporting actor Chris Walken over Chris Cooper, Alfred Molina, and Ed Harris and Paul Newman. Supporting actress went through Catherine Zeta-Jones over Julianne Moore, Meryl Streep, Queen Latifah, and Toni Collette, and Daniel Day for best actor over Nicholson, Brody, Kane, and Cage. Move on.
Debut.
Yes.
We have After Sun, Blue Jean, Electric Melody, Good Luck to You, Leo Grand, and Rebellion. I would say this is pretty easy. I'm still going to say this is pretty easy, but Good Luck to You, Leo Grand had a really good showing here.
My second choice, too.
But I'm going to say Charlotte Wells.
Ashley.
Yeah, I'm going Charlotte Wells for After Sun as well.
And again, I must reiterate this statement. None of us have access to either prediction. I agree. Charlotte Wells, After Sun.
All right, we could say this next one will probably also be a sweep with us, but I'm wondering if Ashley might throw a curveball. I don't know what it would be, but I could see that happening.
Okay.
I guess there's two possible curveballs here.
Yeah, 100%.
We're talking about British film.
Yes.
As the British part of the panel leaves.
As always.
But it's a long
list. You're good.
Yeah, we have After Sun, The Banshees of Inisherin, Brian and Charles, Empire of Light, Good Luck to You, Leo Grand, Living, Matilda the Musical, See How They Run, The Swimmers, and The Wonder. So, I'm convinced... I'll reiterate this when Ashley comes back, too. I'm convinced that Everything Everywhere All at Once is winning at the Oscars. Like the big one.
There's no way around it at this point.
But I've been wondering if BAFTA is going to be a Banshees night. Because BAFTA was a 3 billboards night. So I don't know if I'm if that's influencing me too much or what. But I feel like this could be the start of Banshees doing really well on this night. So that's what I'm going with.
Ashley, what do you got?
um, I'm sticking with my. I was tempted to change it, but no, I'm not going to. Good luck to you, Leo Grande.
Okay. Yeah, put that on my list. So it's funny because I know you don't know BAFTA history very well, AJ. Is there? I'm sure there is. There has to be. There's no way there's not. British film and best film going to the same movie. How often does that happen?
I know Three Billboards did it recently.
Yes.
I was thinking it happened again recently, but I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, here's the thing. You could nominate. You could give it the win to something that's not really going anywhere else. That's fine. We're gonna forget Empire Light even exists, like you should. There are two curveballs, like AJ mentioned, and Ashley wasn't able to hear, but After Sun and Living could both take this.
Yeah, those are the two I was thinking of. I didn't think he would go with Good Luck to You, Leo.
Leo Grand was my third option. That was my dark horse. But this is the night. Just like with Three Billboards, I feel that since I'm going to get kicked in the nuts for the rest of the season in a lot of ways that I am completely prepared for now, give me one night to be able to enjoy myself. Banshees.
Just having a quick,
Come on, BAFTA. It's my favorite award show this season. Let's go.
Having a quick look at the history. King's Speech doubled up.
Okay. Good.
I completely forgot Gravity was considered a British film.
It was.
And yet 12
we had that
Years a Slave wasn't, even though it's Steve McQueen. The only other two since the 2010s were, as you said, Three Billboards and the one you don't remember, Owen and AJ, 1917.
All right, yeah.
Oh, I slept through most of it. That's probably why. Brian says, but is Three Billboards British? No. No, but they love McDonough, clearly.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever figured out what the qualifier is for this category.
Well, the fact
real quick, Kidman.
The fact that Gravity is British, despite not really feeling, apart from maybe being filmed here.
Nothing makes sense, Ashley. Real quick, couple things in chat. Gravity's not British and Promising Young Women. So anyway, Kidman won for The Hours, beating Salma Hayek, Halle Berry, Meryl Streep, and Renee Zellweger. British film went for The Warrior. Would that be Warrior? What I think it would be? No, not 2003. Beating Dirty Pretty Things, Benedict Beckham, Magdalene Sisters, and The Hours. Real quick to AJ and Ashley both. Did you see Dirty Pretty Things or Magdalene Sisters? And thoughts?
I have not on either.
Wow. Ashley?
Yeah. Both are very good. Dirty Pretty Things are sort of about asylum, sort of falling in love, and then Magdalene Sisters is based on the true story of the bullshit of the Irish nunnery, sort of. If anybody got pregnant, fuck the mother. Well, no, not exactly like that, but the babies got put up for adoption, and they got torn away and whatever. The Warrior, by the way, maybe not the debut, but the first thing at least I recognise from the filmography of Asif Kapadia before he decided to do documentaries.
I'll tell you what I think happened, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
I remember being fine with this movie, and it has a great cast. But the movie Bright Young Things, which Stephen Fry directed, I'm pretty sure the reason I picked this up to begin with was because I confused it with Dirty Pretty Things. But I'm sure either, but I still haven't gotten to it yet.
It's okay. You have plenty of movies. Finishing out, Roman Polanski won the director BAFTA over Stephen Daldry, Heart, Rob Marshall, and Peter Jackson. Comedy for Do Still Comedy. Best film went for The Pianist over Two Towers, Chicago, Gangs in New York, and The Hours. Continue.
By the way, Dirty Pretty Things, it was sort of documentary style, directed by Stephen Frears and written by Stephen Knight, who's the in fashion guy. And Magdalene Sisters was about girls sent to Magdalene asylum homes for women who were labelled as fallen by their families, and which Peter Mullen directed. So another actor director there, considering that was a question last week.
Fair point. AJ, we're going to visual effects now.
All right, for visual effects, we have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, The Batman, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Top Gun. Anybody want to bet against Avatar?
I freaking want to.
I mean, they could go inspired, but I'm not betting against Avatar.
In this category, no. In anything else, yes. Ashley, what do you got?
There's a slim chance for Top Gun if they want to actually praise like real stuff, but I'm going with Avatar because it's that. The fact that that and sound are the only thing it's nominated for, it's probably picking up that more than sound.
Well, it's not my choice. It's not the answer I would go with, but it's the answer I'm taking for a point. I concur. Avatar wins.
All right, sound.
Yes.
We have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar, Elvis, Tar, and Top Gun. When there's a traditional war movie, this category gets tricky when it seems like there's another obvious possibility here. Because if Top Gun wasn't here, I'd be all over All Quiet on the Western Front right now. But I think I'm going to say Top Gun. But it's hard to go against All Quiet on the Western Front because they went so hard on it. And the same thing's going to come up a lot for Elvis.
Yeah, that's another option too.
So even though I don't feel good about betting against All Quiet on the Western Front here, I'm going to say Top Gun.
Ashley, what do you got?
All Quiet on the Western Front. Sound like war movies. And mild spoilers for what's coming, I don't think it's picking up many of its nominations.
Nope. I wanted to go Elvis here. And weirdly enough, a part of me wanted to go with Tar here. So if either one of those win, I said that I could have, but I didn't. But yeah, you know what? I'm going with Top Gun here.
That it?
That's it. Production design.
Oh, God.
Yeah, this is tough. Real tough.
All right. For production design, we have All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Batman, Elvis, and Pinocchio. I could see it being 3 of these. That's the problem. This could easily be All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, or Elvis.
Yep.
And once again, I don't want to underestimate like Babylon didn't perform well really anywhere, but I don't want to underestimate anywhere that it is, and that's for any award show outside of SAG. So my instinct, like my very first choice was Elvis. So
Okay.
that's what I'm gonna, and I'm gonna, yeah. I was gonna say because they went so hard for it, but obviously we just said that Alcohol on the Western Front also, but I'll go with Elvis.
Ashley, what's your pick?
This is going to be my first case of British skew. I'm saying Batman.
Ooh, I'd love that to be right.
Because a lot of it did get filmed in the UK. Either on studio or in the streets of Liverpool and stuff.
Love you to be right here. I would love to lose this point because of the Batman getting a win. But I looked at what I had in front of me and I realized that this seemed pretty obvious just looking at it. That it was down to two of my favorite extremely extravagant movies of the year. And I chose Elvis.
All right.
Chat, quick. Slight chance for Top Gun to win because 1917 over Endgame, First Man over Infinity War. Josie says, if sound editing and sound mixing were split, do you think Top Gun would take both, or Top Gun would take one, Elvis would take the other, or All Quiet?
I would say Top Gun would get editing and Elvis would get mixing.
That makes sense. And we are moving on. Best original score.
Fuck.
This is tough. It's a good list, too.
Yeah, for score, we have All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Banshees, Everything Ever All at Once, and Pinocchio. Even though he's the only one here that did not get an Oscar nomination, if I remember correct. Did Burwell get in?
Pretty sure.
Double check.
I was thinking so.
Where is it? All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, Banshees, Everything Everywhere, and Fablemans. So yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I almost went for Despois, honestly, even though he's the only one without the Oscar nomination, which may not mean anything.
Sure.
But then I kept coming back to fucking Hurwitz.
Yes.
Because I mean, Burwell could do this.
I wouldn't mind that. I love that score.
But I was leaning towards Despois or Hurwitz, and since he's got the momentum up to this point, I guess I'll stay with Hurwitz. But honestly, I say that with not a lot of confidence.
That's completely fair. Ashley, what do you got?
Banshees. I don't know whether Burwell's won it before at BAFTA, but I think that's. I mean, if it did go to All Quiet, that would be inspired and weird.
Mark Webb for the win. You know, I wouldn't have an issue if Burwell wins this, but I feel like since day one, this has been Justin Hurwitz's award to win this whole season. So I'm gonna go with Babylon.
I'm trying to look if we. So far, we match at least at some point across every single category.
Yep, it's gonna be a bad night for prediction for points. Justin Hurwitz used to write for the league on FX. Interesting. Thanks, Josie.
My
Talked about that a while back, maybe. I don't recall.
My friend just saw Hurwitz in person recently at a Whiplash event.
That would have been awesome.
Yes. Oh, for God's sake. The techs are a nightmare this year.
I agree.
And we just had the Makeup Guild, which did not fucking help.
Nope.
All right. For makeup, we have Walk on the Western Front, the Batman, Elvis, Matilda, and the Whale. I feel like we started at 3, but I think we've been able to narrow it down to Elvis and the Whale, right?
Mm-hmm.
God. I was going to say that the Whale might be my Oscar pick, and I pick Elvis here
Mm-hmm.
because there's going to be differences, and I'm trying to, with what I feel like the Oscars are going to do, I'm trying to kind of factor that into what I'm saying here because not everything's gonna. I don't want to just say my Oscar predictions here because that would be a mistake probably, unless we're in a really weird year and they do that. But I'll say no, fuck it. I'll just say the Whale.
Ashley, what do you got?
Just because it's got the combo of makeup and hair, really, to some extent, I'm probably going to go with Elvis.
I'm gonna throw a spoiler alert here for the rest of the night. The Whale didn't really get many nominations, and it got 2 that it easily could walk away with. Potentially 3 could easily walk away with. I don't have it winning anything. Elvis.
Well, the thing about the Whale's makeup is that whenever Fraser has been campaigning,
Mm-hmm.
he always talks about it's like he's campaigning for the makeup as much as he is himself. I think in every single interview he talks about how it's like groundbreaking makeup that was made to like respond to gravity and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
You could say that's what Colin Farrell's press run for the Batman was like, but Colin Farrell's press run for the Batman was like a year ago. So
I mean, I wanted to say the Batman here. And that's the answer I really go with, but I can't afford to lose points. And Elvis.
So it's basically like we've been saying in comparison to last year, where it's like with Tammy Faye, where Chastain and makeup just went hand in hand.
Sure.
So I think that's why I'm leaning the Whale.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I feel like I'm going to lose this point, but I mean, Colonel Tom Parker's pretty extensive makeup, so.
Yeah, you can say what you will about Hanks's performance itself, but that looks like his fucking face. And like I said, when we were talking about it before, when we were talking about it with Critics' Choice, it was like when I was thinking, and maybe this is a compliment to Hanks's work as far as the makeup. When makeup at first initially got brought up in award season for Elvis, I immediately thought of Butler as he went along,
Mm-hmm.
and as like his face got fuller.
Yeah.
I almost forgot to even consider that Hanks was another reason this would win makeup.
And like Ashley said, and it's something we talk about every year when I talk about the fact that makeup and hair need to be separate categories, because makeup needs to have its own category because it doesn't feel like it feels right to go with hair. If you want to talk about something that has makeup and hair, that's Elvis.
Yeah, the question now is the Whale's makeup so impressive it's going to make people forget the hair aspect of
It's very that's a possibility too.
Yeah, it's a cluster block. That's all I had to add.
That's a shoot. Before we get started, Josie says Carter Burwell shares a birthday with Chloe Sevigny, Delroy Lindo, Elizabeth Perkins, Mike Epps, Kevin Nealon, Owen Wilson, and Romany Malco.
Wow. Oh, that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Same here. You want to talk about categories that are difficult? Editing.
All right. We have all on the Western Front, Banshees, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Top Gun. Elvis's editing is the fucking Antichrist. I don't know, but the thing is the BAFTA went for Hank Corwin for Vice.
Yep, I was getting ready to bring up Vice.
Hank Corwin's another Antichrist of editing.
He's not here this year, thankfully.
He might as well be with fucking Elvis. But I would say I do think Everything Everywhere All at Once is not to be underestimated here.
No.
And like, I'm really having a crisis about how much have I been underestimating Everything Everywhere All at Once here, because that's an absolute possibility. Because obviously the go-to in my mind is Top Gun.
Of course.
So, like I said, if that was my first instinct, then I think that's what I'm going to go with. Like I said, even though I'm not liking how much these are lining up with what I would say with my Oscar predictions, they should really probably be different.
Well, I mean, we call them the British Oscars for a reason.
Yeah, but it's so the only things I'm not considering are All Quiet on the Western Front and Banshees, because normally a war movie would very much be in there.
Sure.
But All Quiet on the Western Front also isn't as frenetic as your typical war movie. So, yeah, it's more subtle editing, which we know never wins.
Okay. Ashley, what do you got for editing?
Which one did you go for eventually? Top Gun?
I think I'm going with Top Gun. We'll say that.
I decided to stick with Everything Everywhere All at Once, just because there's a lot of editing in it, but it isn't Hank Corvin style editing. It's editing that actually sort of makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, but and I humbly disagree, AJ. I'm going with Banshees.
Oh shit, we actually split for the first time.
Very, very, very sweet. So the movie's pacing is spectacular, but I don't think they pay attention to that.
If it's going to be a Banshees love fest, I mean, editing would be a good award for it to win.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost wanted to go really inspired, but I ain't that stupid. Any more chat? Oh, of course, hot damn. Shock surprise.
Hold on. Where's the
Ashley will put it up on the screen. Don't worry.
There
Thanks, Brian.
Hot damn.
Oh,
There he is.
Hank Corwin, for God's sake.
Brian says at least there was hairstyling for Tammy Faye last year. That is actually true.
Yeah.
Costume design. This category is frustrating. Super frustrating.
Yeah, I've got it narrowed down to 2.
I do too, but I don't think it's the second one you're thinking of. But we'll see. Go ahead.
For costumes, we have A Quiet on the Western Front, Amsterdam, Babylon, Elvis, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. You can't rule out Babylon, but I had it narrowed down to Elvis and Mrs. Harris.
Never mind. We did have the same thought process.
I am going to say... So the thing I keep coming back to is when I picked Fantastic Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Here, the first Fantastic Beasts, which I pulled out of my ass, and somehow, like, I think it lost here, but it still won the Oscar, and I don't remember where the hell I pulled that out of. But we've got a lot more elaborate things going on here now.
Sure.
But because it could just, like I said, it could just as easily be Babylon.
Yeah.
And it could be either not one of these two. But
oh no.
I'm going to say Elvis.
Okay.
Even though I'm doing that thing again where I don't have these written down. Is it too late to change?
No.
I always regret this shit.
If that was your first instinct, I'd stick with it. But if you want to change, that's fine.
I need to just not do my Oscar predictions, which is what I've been doing. So I need to change something. So I'm going to say Mrs. Harris.
I will be okay with losing this point. Ashley.
I'm just fearing if Amsterdam is more in this race than it should be. I'm gonna stick with Elvis. Which is weird because Jenny also being the only British nominee in costume design, so we're actually not gonna get that much British skew. But I think they might just about give the edge to the showman that was Elvis.
Okay. Josie makes a point. The editing and Banshees in the Fingers scene is sick. Yeah, no lie. I'd be very happy to lose this point to AJ. I love Mrs. Harris, and I would be very happy to see it get a win. It deserves it. On the same coin, Babylon is a threat here. I mean, it's the Babylon Elvis battle, and Elvis obviously won that battle. But never doubt Babylon. But for costumes in this circumstance, I'm going with Elvis.
Oh, God.
This category sucks to try to predict. I know who I want to win, but it's not the one I'm going with.
All right.
Cinematography.
We have All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, Elvis, Empire of Light, and Top Gun. They can fix the Top Gun error that the Oscars made.
Correct.
But if they don't, I'm trying to not put my personal bias against Elvis on this, but I have no idea what the fuck it's doing in this category throughout the whole season.
Obviously, somebody sees something in it to nominate it so many times, whether we see it or not.
The question is, we've mostly shit on the movie on this channel, so the question right now is, are we underestimating Deakins at all? At least here. I wouldn't think anywhere else, but here.
I said the only thing that Empire of Light deserves is nothing, but if you have to nominate it for something, this is the only category that makes any sense. But I don't. You're gonna bring back the hashtag, the Roger Deakins hashtag again.
Well, the thing though is, much like Top Gun, until the Oscars got here, the Batman was having a really good season in this category. Not with wins, but with showing up.
I'd love to have Batman win this. That'd be great. I wouldn't put money on it, but I'd love to see it happen. Anything Batman gets nominated for, I'm down with. This could be a great award show for me.
If they don't go Top Gun, I would say they would go with the movie I think I'm choosing.
Okay.
Which is All Quiet on the Western Front.
I figured that's the direction you were going. We are going to split this category. Ashley, what do you got for your pick?
Yeah, to me, I feel it's between Top Gun and All Quiet. I went on the Top Gun side.
Okay.
Mainly because, I mean, they did give a lot of nominations to All Quiet, so I wouldn't be surprised if this did go to it as well. But no, I'll stick with Top Gun.
And then we got a couple questions from Josie on the chat real quick before we move on to casting. I know every season and every time AJ doesn't want to jinx the movie he wants to win. And I always go to bat for him when it comes down to it, because it'd be like, well, you can't pick it, but I sure as hell can. Yeah, Claudia Miranda, Top Gun Maverick. But I want to see Batman win something. Come on, BAFTA, give it something. I don't care what. I'll gladly lose a point there. We don't want you. Josie, Who would win in a fashion show, Mrs. Harris or Michelle Yeoh in the movie star dress?
I'd say Mrs. Harris because she might wear it more than once.
Yeah. Margot Robbie in Babylon or Carrie Condon in her coat and banshees?
Well, I'm just anti-Babylon as far as Margot Robbie goes, so.
Robbie. I'll go Mrs. Harris as well. And then Josie asked a question: favorite movie dresses?
When you say it, the very first thing that comes to mind is the green one in Atonement.
Satine, Cinderella, Belle's ball gown. I always think Disney when it comes to these dress questions. Josie.
That was a good answer.
That was a great answer.
Are you talking? It's a weird choice. Are you talking about the animated one? Because that's what I'm thinking.
Absolutely. Always. I don't think about the live action Disney anything. Not really. Not anymore.
Well, there's like 7 Beauty and the Beast at least.
Yeah. Oh God. Jamie Sullivan in A Walk to Remember. Absolutely. And since everyone else is being quiet, let's move to casting.
All right.
I don't know about this one. I don't know what to do. I'm scared. Well, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, I think this one is just you have to pick at random and hope for the best.
Let's throw a dart at a wall right now. That's pretty much what I did here, and I don't know if I'm right or not.
For casting, we have After Sun, All Quiet on the Western Front, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Triangle of Sadness.
Does this have any sort of like qualifications? Do we have any idea what this means? Is this like an ensemble category, basically?
It's acknowledging sort of casting directors because casting is essential to the screen industry and vital in terms of promoting diversity and inclusion on screen.
You just put in a tape for a second there, and pantomime.
That's what was said 4 years ago when it got announced.
God dang it! All right, fine. AJ, what do you got for casting?
My initial instinct was either After Sun or Triangle of Sadness because they're the ones that stick out a little more.
Sure.
But I'm gonna say All Quiet on the Western Front.
Pick.
I'm going with After Sun.
I feel honestly, the thing that I feel like I don't know if Rocks is the movie I'm thinking of when I go to this, but I almost feel like I would lean towards the movie with the most unknowns. Which could be All Quiet or Triangle of Sadness or After Sun. Generally unknown, maybe not completely unknown.
Yeah, then again, of course, this category, if you look at the history, 2019 was Joker, 2020 was Rocks, 2021 was West Side Story.
It's all over the place.
The key thing, though, I think, is how they did the casting. Because there was this whole... Remember the big public thing 2 years ago about the detailed casting that they did for West Side Story?
Yeah.
You know, looking for everything. So I think it's partially that. It's not really just, like, who gets the biggest names, like, to some extent.
If they want to... Here's the thing, though. This will probably be one of those, oh, by the way, here's this categories during the ceremony, right?
Yeah, it wasn't during the first year, but I think it was may have not have, they may have also done it for rocks. Then again, I think everything, because the 2020 ceremony was pandemic time, everything got handed out sort of, okay, it was on a separate show, like on the Saturday compared to the Sunday. They still
Here's the
actually
thing.
televised them technically.
If they want to show it, like, say this movie wins, if they want to demonstrate the cast with clips, Triangle of Sadness better fucking watch itself. Because that would be pretty much the whole cast, almost.
Oh my god, yeah.
To my understanding.
If
Not
anything,
like I know.
you could probably
But-
use the opening of the trailer for Triangle of Sadness, which is the Photoshop, the photo scene with Harris Dickinson, where it's like happy, sad, happy, sad.
Yeah, or they could use the clip where the head person is like demonstrating what the staff need to be doing, like how the staff need to operate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Use that clip.
any of the model stuff, like Ashley said, would be saved. Any of the stuff from the third act would be saved.
Yeah, anything in the third act, definitely.
Anything away from the boat would be completely saved. That being said, I want Elvis to win here, but I don't feel comfortable going with it. I'm honestly kind of surprised. I hate the movie, but I'm honestly kind of surprised Everything Everywhere All at Once is not getting a vote from either of you at this point.
That's totally possible.
But I feel like this is a night that Owen's going to be happy and not sad. So, it's weird because AJ can't see my predictions, and we didn't have a long conversation where I freaked out trying to tell him I don't know what to do. Give me some guidance. And that doesn't mean pick my winners for me. That means let me know why this makes sense and why this doesn't. So when I say that, you probably figured it out already. I also went All Quiet on the Western Front. And we are at BAFTA casting doesn't always go with ensembles. They went with Joker, as Josie said. Ashton Kutcher said he found Triangle of Sadness very relatable as male model. That makes sense. Harris Dickinson, Austin Butler, Paul Mescal in a male model fashion show. Who wins?
I missed that question.
Dickinson, Butler, Mescal. Who wins in a male fashion show? And Felix Khmer.
I don't Butler.
Yeah, probably. He's probably
I'd edge it between Butler and Mescal.
I have never seen Paul Mescal, so this will be the first time I've ever seen his face.
That's wild.
I'm not looking for like how they look, because if it is Daryl McCormack all year round, I'm trying to think who would sort of inhabit the outfit best. Who'd be on the catwalk?
Who looks more GQ? I get that.
Yeah.
I'm still going with Austin Butler. Anyway.
Paul Mescal is in The Lost Daughter.
Oh, where?
Oh God.
Is he the guy on the beach?
Yeah, I gotta find The Lost Daughter in my mind again.
Is he the dude on the beach?
I know he's there. I know his face is there.
He's not one of the heels in the movie theater, is he?
I'm pretty sure he's on the beach.
Okay, if he's on the beach, then I might know where he is.
Oh man.
I really like that movie too.
Yeah.
Film not in the English language. Speaking of All Quiet on the Western Front, who's its competition?
Well, assuming that's the direction. I mean, we always have that moment where we're unsure if the front runner is going to win, and the front runner always wins. But we always have that moment.
Oh, that was just a segue.
We have All Quiet on the Western Front, Argentina 1985, Corsage, Decision to Leave, and The Quiet Girl. That adapted screenplay nomination for The Quiet Girl is really inspired.
Yeah, I can see that.
But you know what else is an adapted screenplay?
Jesus.
Yeah, let's go ahead and just stick with the front runner here. Unless people want to seek retribution for a decision to leave.
Possibly.
But, like I said, we always overthink this category. It's typically the obvious one, so I'm gonna stick with All Quiet on the Western Front, as if that needs to be said.
Ashley, do you concur?
I'm trying to. Yes. I think this is its top glory more than likely because of the number of nominations. If it isn't, that makes no sense.
Yeah, that's the highest I have it going to. I concur. No need to say anything further.
Right. Oh God.
This is a tough one.
I hate this. For documentary. What was that?
I said at least you've seen most of these. I've seen one.
All That Breathes just hit HBO Max, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, okay.
But I've seen 3 of them.
Sure.
Well, the only one I haven't seen is the one that's potentially the front runner. We have All That Breathes, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, Fire of Love, Moon Age Daydream, and Navalny. I've been saying I'd like to see Navalny start taking over.
Okay.
I feel like it's totally possible. But All the Beauty and the Bloodshed's the fallback choice, I guess. Maybe I'll feel more passionate about that when I actually see it, but right now it's like it's the fallback choice or something. It's been so consistent. I honestly wouldn't rule out Fire of Love.
Okay.
I mean, you've got a British icon with Moon Age Daydream. I don't know how well Moon Age Daydream really represents him, but
That's a good point, actually.
Then again,
it's like I feel like half that movie I was going, what does this have to do with Bowie again?
Did you ever really know who he was, though? The fact that he reinvented himself like every 3 or 4 years, so he didn't pigeonhole himself.
I don't know what he has to do with Max Schreck, but
the Berlin period. I don't know.
I guess. Oh God, damn it! I want to just fall on the fallback and say All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, but Navalny could start taking over any minute now.
Or not. We don't know.
And Fire of Love can't be underestimated.
This is why predicting is fun.
Oh God, for God's sake.
We can get this show done in like less than 2 hours, this rate.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, we're on the big 8, and then it's like, oh shit, documentary and animated are here.
Just knock it out. Let's go.
All right. Let's go with. Let's throw caution to the wind because who gives a fuck? I'll say Fire of Love.
Okay.
But it's been consistent enough. It's got the love, literally in its title. So let's do that.
What do you got?
Just because I think there might be some European skew on this, and because they keep showing it every so often now on British television, I'm gonna give the edge to Navalny. Especially because we're pretty close to, I think, to the first anniversary of the Ukrainian invasion and everything.
Wow, we're going to split this point. Unless one of the other two wins. I'm going with All the Beauty and the Bloodshed.
The annoying thing is, I think the annoying thing is...
Confirmation from Brian. Mescal was Will, the beach guy college student. Yeah.
The annoying thing
let's go, Navalny.
All That Breeze might. That was the one I was flipping between. All That Breeze and Navalny.
Well, you've made your choice now. You're good.
I know, but like, I think that's.
Lock it in.
I was hoping somebody else might cover that base and get a point, but I mean, we'll see. Anything changes but you. Right, animated.
Speaking of an easy point,
We're ready for animated.
yes.
I still love that they went with the front runners and then they just gave up.
Right in choice for the bad guys.
Yeah. So we've got Pinocchio, Marcel, Puss in Boots, Turning Red, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, because they only do 4.
For a long time, it's felt like it's been Pinocchio versus Marcel.
Yep.
Good God, this Puss in Boots thing has been building and building ever since it was released.
It is definitely the crowd favorite.
I'm still gonna say Pinocchio, but I
Okay.
just want it to be known that I am not ruling Puss in Boots out anymore.
I wouldn't.
And I almost feel like the Oscars are free reign because there's no outside nominations. I honestly feel like the Oscars would be any one of them.
Yeah.
But obviously we have Pinocchio bouncing around a few times here, so I'm sticking with that.
Unlike the Oscars. What do you got, Ashley?
Maybe it's just because I haven't seen it that I'm not giving it to it, but I'm going with Pinocchio. But I'd like it to be Marcel. I mean, I'm hopefully watching it on Wednesday, so.
I mean, unless they decide they want to give me a showing of it, I'll probably never see Pinocchio at this rate. But I am going to give it the win. But yes, just like Ashley said, I would love to see Marcel win this.
I mean, I think Pinocchio's the best animated movie this year, but it would give me great happiness to also if it was Marcel.
Give us a win. Give it a win. A high-profile victory. Best adapted screenplay.
Oh, finally.
Yeah.
Okay. We have Walk on the Western Front, Living, The Quiet Girl, She Said, and The Whale. 2 big contenders are missing.
Thank you for nominating She Said. I appreciate that.
Pretty easily, I'm saying Living.
Ashley.
Yeah, I'm saying Living as well. I've been championing it since August, so might as well go down with the ship.
And after watching it, I completely understand why. Living.
Oh, for God's sake, here we go again.
This is a tough one.
All right. Original. We have Banshees, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, and Triangle of Sadness. The Oscar lineup.
Yep. Right or wrong?
All right, so I pretty much predetermined this one before we went into this. Where, like I was saying before, which I'll reiterate now, I don't see any other outcome other than Everything Everywhere All at Once winning Best Picture as far as the Oscars go.
I wish you were wrong, but you're not.
But I was also feeling a lot of Banshees love coming from BAFTA.
That may help Banshees going into the Oscars, too.
Mm-hmm. So basically, much like many other years, I feel like original screenplay is going to call the shots of what's going to go down. So, for BAFTA, I'm saying Banshees.
Okay. Ashley, what do you got?
I was gonna say Banshees, but for some reason I'm going with the Fabelmans because it's the only place that it's there.
That's wild.
That'd be cool. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I'd love to lose that point. So would AJ.
Yeah, they might be going, oh, wait, nobody else recognized it. We might want to make that up. What's it nominated for? One thing. Do it.
As much as I want that to happen, I think that the chances of that happening at this point are the chances of me leaving my house on the 14th. So, but if you look at the contenders here, obviously we know who their opponent, who McDonough's opponents are. And although I really want to do something crazy here, I'm just going to go with my heart. Martin McDonough, Banshees.
All right, BAFTA, it's your job to shake this category up.
Heck yeah. Oh, I know what I want to do in this next. I know what I really want to do so badly for these next two categories, but I'm too chicken to do it. Best Supporting Actress.
We have Angela Bassett for Black Panther, Hong Chow for The Whale, Carrie Condon for Banshees, Jamie Lee Curtis for Everything Ever All at Once, Dolly Day for Triangle of Sadness, and Carey Mulligan for She Said.
Yeah.
I almost instinctively said Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Hsu, but I can't do that here.
You could say Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah. But the thing here is, I was talking about this Bassett thing that's been going on has been very weird to me.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, that's just going to be a random Globes choice. They went with the really popular choice, like the mainstream choice.
Mm-hmm.
And then Critics' Choice copied them. And we were like, what's going on here? Surely Critics' Choice voting was already done when the Globes happened. And it turns out that it wasn't. So
Yep.
Critics' Choice probably just said, oh shit, we want to keep up, because that's what Critics' Choice has always been and always apparently will be.
Yep.
So it would be very weird to me if Bassett swept.
Yeah.
It would honestly be weird to me if Bassett did anything else from now on.
Yep. Same thought process of that.
Given maybe in another year, maybe, but with the competition what it is this year, it would be really weird. So we were saying this kind of anyway, that regardless of where the race was at this point, Carrie Condon looked like a good bet here.
That's right.
She was the clear front runner before Bassett at the Globes and Critics' Choice. So this would be the opportunity where Condon would come back around. That's not to say that Bassett couldn't still take SAG, which is totally possible, because there was a lot of love in the room when she won at the Globes.
I don't know. I'm just feeling Curtis and SAG at this point.
That's totally possible also, but today for BAFTA,
Change my mind tomorrow. We'll see.
I'm almost afraid I feel this is too easy, because I feel way confident in Condon here.
Same.
Which makes me nervous. but
Also same.
But yeah, I'm saying Condon.
Ashley.
Yeah, British skew. I think Condon will take this. You know, not that I don't think it influences too much, but the London film critics, Bassett wasn't even nominated.
Yeah, the whole Bassett surge seems so late, despite having plenty of time to happen after the movie came out. But
well, I mean, it's, to me, especially if the nominations weren't even in yet by the time that the Globes went out, they could just play copycat and be super lazy and just be like, oh, whatever, just do the same thing. This Angela Bassett stuff ends now. This is what it was always supposed to be. This is when Carrie Condon takes over and she runs the board for the rest of the season. But again, like I said before, I don't know why. I'm just feeling Jamie Lee Curtis for SAG. I don't know if I want to go with it, but I mean, I'm feeling it's very, very possible. But as for the British Oscars and the regular Oscars, Carrie Condon.
the only trouble with Curtis at SAG is she's up against her co-star.
which I think they might split the vote. But the thing is, I feel like there's more love for the career of Curtis, and she has so much more respect in the business that I feel if it had to go to one of the two, it's going to go to Curtis.
Yeah.
Because Stu has so much left in her career. She's just getting started. Jamie Lee Curtis may not be on the tail end of her career, but I mean, she's been around for a while. It's time to finally give her just desserts. And that's exactly what SAG voters may be thinking.
All right, after all of this workout that has been trying to predict all this stuff, let's do something nice and easy. let's take a little break here in supporting actor and just chill out and talk about how Ke Quan is going to beat Brendan Gleeson, Barry Keoghan, Eddie Redmayne, Albrecht Shook, and Michael Ward. It'll be nice and easy, isn't it?
Ashley?
I think it is going to be Ke Quan, but Keegan is the dark horse.
Uh-huh.
I could see him sort of get it and sort of upset the apple cart in that
I
aspect.
would
I still think Kwan's winning the Oscar, but I think there's a chance that Keegan could take this with British skew, but I'm edging towards no because I think they also like Temple of Doom.
I do remember when this was a Brendan Gleeson win, like way long ago in the way before time. And although I'd love to see that happen, and I would really love to see Barry Keoghan win. No one else on this list. Yeah. Ke Quan. But please prove me wrong. I'd appreciate that.
All right, let's get another fucking headache.
Yeah, the right person's in this the right people are in this category, but they ain't winning, which sucks.
For actress, we have Cate Blanchett for Tar, Viola Davis for The Woman King, Ana de Armas for Blonde, Danielle Deadwyler for Till, Emma Thompson for Galaxy, Leah Grant, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. So, I'm genuinely not ruling out Emma Thompson.
I wouldn't.
But choosing between Blanchett and Yeoh, which I imagine most of us are doing.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Most of us being anybody that does predictions in the world.
You're absolutely correct.
So, my whole starter prediction got fucked up already. Because I was like, Yeoh's going to get Critics' Choice, Blanchett will get BAFTA, Yeoh will get SAG, I think is what I said.
Sounds logical.
Then Blanchett got Critics' Choice and fucked it all up. Because I was convinced that Yeoh is getting the Oscar, but I was almost getting, even though Nomadland was a picture winner, which I'm sure is what people will bring into account, I get Frances McDormand vibes from Blanchett. Where it's like, you could pick these people that haven't won before, or you can go with the clearly beloved actress that already has multiple wins.
Right.
If somebody's going to win their third very soon, that person's going to be Cate Blanchett.
Yeah, totally.
And for this performance especially, I have Everything Everywhere All at Once really underperforming here, which I don't feel great about. So I might go ahead and say Yeoh.
Okay.
But if that's the case, I'm probably picking Blanchett for SAG. Still.
Oh crap! Hit the wrong button. That's okay.
Oh, no, I'm switching. Am I switching up what I was doing before? I think that's what's happening. Yeah.
Which was it again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo.
Ashley, do you concur, or are you going to go a different route?
just because of the way the British critics did it. No, I'm sticking with my thing. I should say Blanchett, but I'm going with Yo.
Okay. So my copy and paste accidentally was not an accident. My favorite performance of the year is in here because BAFTA understands like the right answer and the right thing to do.
I really hope that wins, to be fair.
God, I'd be so happy if Daniel Deadweather would win. I'd be happy if Viola Davis won this. Right after getting the EGOT, get a BAFTA. There you go.
I feel like some body of voters is going to pick Viola Davis out of spite for that snub.
De Armas is, it's weird. Like, this narrative for her feels like, it's like, I'm just happy to be here, but is she more of a contender than we think? I don't think so, but you never know. Yeah, Emma Thompson is always a threat here. But, you know, and it's not because I hate the movie. The performance is fine. But AJ's point about winning 3 this soon, yeah, I'm gonna roll with that. Kate Blanchett for Tar. Chad, I have your messages after we get done with. We're almost ready to take it home for the actual award, so then we'll get to chat real quick and then we'll take it home. I'm saving all your messages, so don't worry, I still have them. Continue. Best actor.
I feel like a spoiled child. Because you can't please a spoiled child.
You're correct. I'm an only child. I know how you feel.
With things the way they are, it's like, for God's sake, why are you making this so hard? But if it wasn't like this, we'd be complaining with how easy and boring it all is. But this is not easy or boring.
No.
So, we have Austin Butler for Elvis, Colin Farrell for Banshees, Brendan Fraser for The Whale, Daryl McCormick for Good Luck to You, Leo Grand, Paul Mescal for After Sun, and Bill Nye for Living. We've talked about not ruling out Bill Nye.
Nope.
We've talked about not ruling out Colin Farrell. Even though Colin Farrell has his best chance here, I'm still looking at the main 2 of Butler and Fraser. And the other day, I came to a conclusion in my head, and I said, I think I'm going to say Butler, even though I've been saying I think Fraser's going to sweep from now on. Because I was just saw some Elvis clips again, and it's like that's a lot of performance. Like just like the movie is a lot of editing, that is a lot of performance coming from Austin Butler. But I still don't know if people are going to be able to resist the fact that, I mean, obviously Elvis ends with that final performance, which you could say is Butler's big moment, but Butler's got big moments the whole fucking movie.
Exactly.
But Fraser's strongest scene is the last scene, and it's a monumental scene, and that's the scene people come out of the movie on. And I feel like that's also going to do Fraser massive favors. So, I'm going against instinct, which of course is the worst thing to do. My instinct coming into this was to switch it up and go with Butler.
Okay.
But my instinct, even before that, my instinct at the very start being, I don't know, a month or so ago, to stick with Fraser and just ride the Fraser thing throughout. So I'm going to stick with Fraser. But it's fucking 50-50.
Ashley?
Bill Nye.
Colin Farrell?
I feel it's gonna. I feel it's between those two. It's gonna British skew, and I don't know whether they're gonna go with the one that still has a career, or let's be honest. I think Nye is probably winding down his film stuff.
Yeah,
I would say.
I'd say so.
Of course, something that we need to continuously mention is they went crazy for Elvis in general.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, this is a point that I can't say anything about Mescal, but I can't say anything about McCormick, but I will say that I wouldn't be upset if whoever wins this.
Yeah, I wouldn't. You know, all six arguably deserve it. There's nobody where I feel.
Well,
There's no Anna de Armas in here, which isn't a reflection on her. It's a reflection on that film.
And I will say, I would just be much more comfortable if Mescal and Ki Kwan switched fucking categories.
Mm.
all right, best director.
Okay, I don't have to put thought into this one. I have chosen this one. I chose this one a long time ago. Here we go. We have Edward Berger for Quiet on the Western Front, Park Chan-wook for Decision to Lead, Todd Field for Tar, The Daniels for Everything Everywhere All at Once, Martin McDonough for Banshees, and Gina Prince Bythewood for The Woman King. I'm saying the Daniels easily.
Ashley.
Great. Thanks, Author Dave. Why are you taking so long? I'm going with Edward Berger.
Nice.
I think there's a reason why All Quiet got as many nominations as it did, and we often see the foreign maybe get director or one of the big major awards, but maybe not picture, and I think that's what's happening here.
My instinct is McDonough, but I also gave him screenplay already, and Banshee's Love. Spoiler alert. I can honestly say that this is one that, as much as it pains me to say, Gina Prince Bythewood would be great here. I'd love that. That'd be great. You know, even after all the crap I gave it, I wouldn't be upset with Todd Field at this point.
I wonder if we're underestimating Todd Field here.
We might be underestimating Tar in general this show. It doesn't have very many nominations, but it does have some pretty hardcore ones.
Worth mentioning now, because we're not going to change our views at the last minute. Tar did get director and picture at the London Film Critics Awards.
Yeah, it's not going to happen this time. I hate this so much. This should be Martin McDonough. And I hope that I'm wrong. But yeah, I'm going with the stupid Daniels. Is that the right answer? No. But it's the answer they're going to go with.
And are we done here? We have this last one.
Best film.
We knock out quick chat and then we're taking it home because we got show tomorrow.
All right. For picture, we got All Quiet on the Western Front, Banshees, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Tar. I say again, Everything Everywhere All at Once is my Oscar choice, and I don't see that changing. But I'm going to say Banshees here.
Okay. Ashley.
Copy and paste over, Owen. I'm sticking with Banshees as well.
You darn right. Like I said, you don't give me one award show that I'm not going to walk away upset. This is it, BAFTA.
Yeah, because you said we're doing guilds tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we certainly are.
Yeah, that's where I'm going to propel Everything Everywhere All at Once in that direction. So, but tonight we can say Banshees.
All right, that's your show. Let's knock out chat real quick. I'm not going to go super slow because timing and we got a show tomorrow. Brian says no clear front runner for documentary. I feel like Pinocchio and Marcel would be good friends, said Josie. Yeah, I could see that. Kind of be an adorable movie idea.
Well, he would. I think he'd annoy Marcel.
Maybe, yeah, just a little bit.
Because Marcel doesn't have a lot of patience.
No.
I mean, sometimes he can be endlessly patient, but other times it's if you catch him in the wrong mood, you can piss him off pretty easily.
Hi, I'm Marcel. That's a shoot. Puss in Boots sort of reminds me of Defending in Your Life.
Yeah, a little bit.
As far as making the best out of one's life, says Josie. Brian says Turning Red could still win for Disney bias if they don't want Del Toro to say animation is a medium, so they say animation is a genre for kids. Whoever presents the award shows us the Academy is racist towards animation and why we haven't seen an animated film getting a Best Picture nomination since Toy Story 3.
Well, there hasn't been that many great ones since then.
Yeah. I mean, good, we're getting Toy Story 5.
I still haven't seen 4. According to Ryan McQuaid from Awards Watch, there's a lot of older Academy members who couldn't even finish everything everywhere all at once. Like, smart people would have done that. As far as who he talked to, but sample voices aren't always accurate. Brian says it's more of a career win for Bassett. What's the career? Well, what are like the main wins that like the main movies that she's like? There's only like a handful of them. Career wins are like for like a plethora of films, not like 3 or 4, and some really substandard stuff in her filmography.
I mean,
Away from that,
there's good stuff on the TV front though on her side as well. If you acknowledge her her entire on-screen career. Also, there's that 911 thing as well. So.
Not to mention Bassett is the only nomination for Wakanda Forever. Very true. Spencer says Ryan McQuaid annoys me with his takes. That's funny. Brian says even if Curtis stars in one of the worst movies of the year or a franchise that she's only for and nothing else, unless, if I'm mistaken, on other roles she's had other than Halloween. Yeah, but I just. Even if Curtis starred in one of the worst movies of the year, of a franchise, he's talking about Halloween, and nothing unless, if I'm mistaken, on other roles she's had other than Halloween. She's still beloved, no matter what her filmography says.
Well, she got a lot of acclaim for True Lies.
True Lies. Yeah.
I think she's genuinely award worthy in My Girl.
Oh, 100% agreed on that.
There's Trading Places.
Yep.
Freaky Friday, honestly. I know it's not prestigious, but you can go fuck yourself. You can go fuck yourself if you don't think that's a golden performance.
Brian says, I'm worried if Blanchett's speech is for BAFTA and SAG, she's going to mention Andrea Riseborough. Hopefully she doesn't.
Oh, God.
Yes, I can't tell if those people are going to double down on her now or say, okay, I'm just going to leave it at that.
We got her nominated. All work is done, and they just kind of do this and just back up into the bush like Homer. London film critics didn't give everything anything. Smart move, says Josie. They tend to be predictive of BAFTA. Tar won big there. I would be surprised if Tar won film director and screenplay at BAFTA. Yeah, we very well could be underestimating Tar. Berger wins BAFTA. Kaczynski wins DGA. We'll really be confused about who wins directing. Yeah. Tar is the only film to be nominated for picture directing, writing, acting, and editing, and cinematography. All caps for some reason.
Yeah, Tar overperformed tech-wise at the Oscar nominations.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look into that when I actually do my Oscar predictions in a couple weeks. And Brian says, we know Rihanna won't be there because we know where she's at.
Because the Oscars luncheon is tomorrow. I don't know. If it's Arizona, it's not like it's that far away from, California. Stay over,
No, it's
right?
really not. It's a small plane ride.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I was in Vegas and we went to the Grand Canyon, which is in Arizona. So I mean, it was a short plane ride. I think that's our show. Like that. That's our show. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're gonna do the guilds, producers, writers, directors, and SAG. One Popcast. Be there. So, as always, AJ's catching up on the English and Santa Clauses, and then it's off to the races. I'm opening up the floodgates, all the content you're going to get real soon. I've got it all ready to go. I even have a schedule that's way planned in advance. And I got like 9 new sipping snacks that are in my fridge right now or cabinet that I'm going to be able to film at some point as well. I got a lot of time on my hands on Tuesday. I might just do a filming day. We'll see what happens. But first, Ashley can be found on Twitter at AshIsMyNameUK. More snack stashes coming your way, more content coming your way from Ashley. AJ, of course, just like Keith Richards, cannot be killed by conventional weapons and also cannot be found on any form of social media, but you can leave him a comment if you so choose to do so. Or if you'd like to chat with him on our live chat here, whether live or in archive, feel free to do so. Ton of AJ content was coming out the last 3 months, so we definitely appreciate AJ keeping us afloat here on Popcast Network. We do have those last 6 videos, and then after that, we'll see where we go from there. Reviews versus, I'm sure that stuff will return in the future. A little bit of burnout ski, completely understandable after you've kept an entire YouTube channel afloat for 3 months. Needless to say, that takes.
I'm pretty sure we're like 4.
What do you say?
So I think it's 4.
Now. Yeah, close to 4 months now. Probably 4.5 months at this point. So yeah. So when you're asking if AJ content's coming, oh yeah, it's just gonna be a bit. So stay tuned. Follow me on Twitter at SirOwenDisney, and you'll get more updates on what's going on with the schedule. Next week, we got the BAFTAs. What, of course, that means we got a BAFTA recap. Then we've got Popcast Movie Club, Die Hard with a Vengeance. Not AJ's pick, take a shot. Ashley's pick. That's going to come your way. And then, of course, we got QA for you on Tuesday, so get ready for that. So that'll be a fun little way to move us further into February and get us closer to the Spirits and the Oscars. And of course, SAG, I believe, is the week after. So that's the reason why we have to predict them so quickly, because BAFTA and SAG are so close to each other. But yeah, that's your show for tonight. Thank you, everyone, whether in live chat or in archive, for joining us tonight for a little bit to talk about the BAFTAs and our predictions for such. That being said, I want to thank you guys and girls out there for watching. Don't forget, keep streaming Real Super Dark and get ready for intellectual property, all water parks fans. And until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all we got to say about that.
He didn't drop it this time.